Hello, here's Kitty again for Transgroom TV, and today we have Joe with us. Joe is an American cocker with a fantastic temperament. We call Joe's coat sometimes in our world as groomers among each other exploded, and that's exactly what we have here. Because Joe's been sterilized, he's created more and more coat, and now he has this coat, very thick, very dense, very woolly, very difficult to maintain. The owner of Joe wants it short, so today we have a clipped American cocker commercial, and we have to be a bit careful, be a bit relaxed with Joe because Joe is 11. You see me asking a paw here, but Joe knows exactly what I was asking, but Joe said no to me. He's a bit stubborn. So let's clip some nails. Today we have the nail clippers, the nail grinder, the stop bleed and the paper. At least you need the stop bleed and the nail cutter and the paper with you every time you cut nails. If the nails are too long, the feet, the fingers have to go up, and it's very uncomfortable for the dogs. They can't grip the floor anymore, so we must clip the nails as short as possible. Of course, sometimes we have a little bit too short. If you have the stop bleed with you, it's no problem. Just dip the nail and the stop bleed and immediately push the powder into the nail and it'll stop bleeding immediately. I think it's very nice when the dog's nails are done that all the edges are gone and it's nice and rounded, and personally that's why I use the nail grinder so much, and I like it so much because you can nicely round everything off. There's no corners. Joe can jump on the owners, he can come on your lap without hurting you. When I'm using the nail grinder, it's so easy. You can use it a professional, as a pet owner you can use it. It's a very fantastic tool. I like to use my thumb, and I like hold the nail grinder and I put my thumb here, and then I have like a pivot. Here you see me showing, if you are not a professional, if you are a dog owner who likes to have rounded nails, you can use the special cap. The special cap is specially made for pet owners, or if you are a little afraid to use the nail grinder, but it's fantastic for pet owners because you only have a little hole, you can put the nail in there and you can nicely ground it like you want. Let's do some eye cleaning. Joe, his left eye is very dirty. For cleaning the eyes today we will use no more tear stains, eye wipes and the eye comb. If you have dirt and goo in the eyes, the easiest way of taking it out is the little eye comb. You can just scoop out, and because the eye comb is so fine, all the goo and the dirt will go away. Only thing you need to remember is the goo is between the little fine teeth from the eye comb. The eye comb needs cleaning. You can do that with a tissue or actually with a brush with water, but you have to make sure afterwards you dry it correctly. When a dog has a lot of tear stains, mostly it's because the canal between the eye and the nose is blocked. And it's blocked because there's inflammation, so it's swollen. And no more tear stains you can use around the eyes, but also inside the eyes. And when you use daily no more tear stains in the eyes, it will take some inflammation away and the canal will be more opened. When the canal between the eye and the nose is more open, the water will flow freely, and then the water won't jump through the eyes, so you will have less stains. That's how no more tear stain works. Today we will use the two Showtech ear cleaners, the ear powder, the ear wipes, the big Q-tips, and of course the ear tweezers. I'm looking at the ears, like inspecting always before I start, and I see like it's not really very normal. It's not infected. I smelt it, because when you smell it and it smells really like sour, you can say the dog has an infection and it's better to go to the veterinarian. To take out the hair out of the ears, if it's so bad, I prefer always to start with 2 finger condoms and the pincet and the ear powder. The finger condoms, it's very good to use because it's very hygienic. The dirt doesn't get between your nails, you can throw them away afterwards. And the most important thing is when you use the finger condoms, you have a lot of grip. The powder is more grip, so it makes the job for us much easier. I try to take out as much possible coat out of the ears because I always was told by my veterinarian, have the ears as much as possible without hair to have the circulation. The more circulation you have, the less chance you have of infections. So I try to take out as much coat as possible, and if the dog doesn't let me, I do a little bit at the time, and I take the time to do this. Also, if it's very difficult and if it's red or infected, please ask your customer, or if you are a dog owner, please go to the veterinarian. The ear tweezers, I like to clean it with a wet wipe and then under the streaming water with some disinfectant with a brush between the teeth, so then it's all nice and clean, and I like to put it away dry. Today I'm using the cream ear cleaner and not the liquid ear cleaner because Joe has like a little more reddish ears. It's not really infected, but still I don't want to take any chances. And this cleaner is like a thick, gentle cream that dissolves all the waxes. The advantage is also when you use this cream and the dog shakes, because it's a cream, it will stay in the ears and gently dissolve all the waxes. You can squeeze until you see the product come out. What I usually do is before I do the other side, I clean the top to make sure if one side has an infection, I don't get it over to the other side. You never know. After I see the liquid, like as the ear is full with it, I gently massage, and actually then it's advisable to wait a little to let the product work and let the product dissolve all the wax. After the product has worked for a few minutes, you can take the big Q-tips to take all the wax and the dirt out of the ears. Here you see me using the ear wipe, so now with the Q-tips I've done the inside, and where I can reach with my fingers, I do prefer the ear wipe than taking the dog in the bath and making the risk with the shampoo and infection. So I really like to use the ear wipes on the outer side of the ear. You can easily wipe it around your fingers so you don't hurt the dog with your nails or something. And here you see how dirty my ear wipe is. Let's do some clipping. I'm showing you his feet because Joe just had a fantastic walk, but it's a little bit wet, it's a little bit sandy, and when it's in this case, I don't want to do any clipper work at the feet. I'm always thinking the clipper work, the two blades go in between, and if you do it before the bath, it's like a little bit very fine sand going in between the blades, and I'm afraid the blades will get too dull too quickly. So let's do the feet between the pads after the bath. And as we are speaking about between the pads, this is a commercial cocker. So for all you people who have show dogs, we don't do clipping between the pads. I know this. But commercial dogs, people like it short and clean, and to make it easy for the customers, we do clip between the pads from commercial dogs. Today I'm using one of my favorite clippers. Anyway, my favorite brand is Heiniger. I love to use Heiniger because it's very good, it's very professional, it's light, it's strong, you can clip fast. The clipper doesn't get warm, and today I'm using the Heiniger Basic. I like the Heiniger Basic because I'm somebody who travels a lot, I do a lot of seminars, I go to dog shows. You see me using the 5F, and because I'm gonna clip against the direction of the hair, I'm actually gonna have, instead of 6.3 millimeters, plus minus 3 or 3.2 millimeters long, and I'll show you why. When you see figure 1 is going directly against the coat. It means when you are approaching with your blade, you are against the hair and the hair hasn't got a chance. You take it and the hair is gone. When you see figure 2, you are going with the direction of the coat, and there you will see it's very easy for the hair to go flat. So actually you push the hair flat and then it's clipped. It means it's 6.3 millimeters. So actually I like to go against the coat direction very much because it's cleaner and you only have to go once or twice. And when you go the direction of the coat and you do this before the bath, you actually after the bath don't really need to touch up anymore. Maybe here and there you will have a small part where you need to touch up, but if you go with the coat, because the clipper is like pushing the hair first down and then clipping, the result will also be less nice. I'm not speaking about bouncy hair like poodles or bichons or curly hair that bounces up, but I am speaking about clipping coat which is flat and like wavy, like this type of coat. It's much easier to go against the direction. Here you see me watching nicely. I'm going all the directions because at the ear the hair is like going in a circle. If you want to clip against the direction, you have to like watch very carefully how the hair grows, and when you have this circular hair growing, you have to go also there against the direction. So you have to watch carefully and twist your clipper in the direction contra hair direction. And here you see me like taking the skin tight, and it's very difficult because Joe is getting old and he has a lot of skin, and to clip nicely you have to hold the skin tight. This is now quite short with the 5, and I'm taking another blade now, and I've decided to take the 8.5 millimeter blade to do the rest of the face. I'm also going against hair direction. Here I was showing you that we need to draw a line like from the ear to the eye, and now it's very special because normally when you would just shave with the blade from there to there, you would have a high line, a very big line, and here I have a little trick I've been using for years and I will show you. So I'm using the point of the clipper, and everything before this point is staying longer, so I won't have a harsh line between the eye and the ear upwards. I will have a soft line where it goes from very short to a little longer, a little longer, a little longer. So it means I will have less work with my scissors after the bath. Above that point, it's gonna be from short and gradually longer. Under the point, everything can be short. So here you see me going against the coat. It's very important to keep the skin tight to have no clipper blade marks, and go slowly. Here you see me holding the muzzle like very tight, because when I'm clipping around the mouth, I'm every time afraid for the tongue. Holding his muzzle tight and closed so he doesn't have a chance to push out his tongue. I've just changed my clipper blade to 15 because the 15 is very shorter, and like here where the brown coat is, this is because he's like saliva, he's like getting this wet all the time, and that's why the enzymes from the saliva keeps this hair like brown, and I prefer to have this part very, very short. Also here I will do it with the 15 blade, and around, just around his lips very closely, I'm also going to have very short. Okay, the ears as well. Here you see me doing the ears. I'm also using the 15, and I'm just trying to get the ears as clean as possible, as short as possible. And here it's important you go with the coat direction. Usually I have my finger behind my blade, and when I'm at the edges I'm doing this on top of my finger, and it's like very safe to clip the ears this way. The outside of the ear we usually do with a 10 size blade against direction. It's also very short, but it has a fantastic good finish. And here we are being very careful. Stay on top of the ear, don't do the sides, just go against the direction. Now let's clip the back of the dog, and here you see me using the 4F. You see me switching clippers as well. I've decided to take the Heiniger cord machine. I personally like the Heiniger cord machine very much because it's strong. Actually, the rotation per minute of the motor is 3,200 if you use the Heiniger with a cord, and the other clippers from Heiniger with the batteries are 2,650. So if you have like something where you really need force and more strength, the cord is perfect. So here you see me working again against, and you see how quickly and how effortlessly the clipper goes through the coat. And you can also at the sides go a little bit with direction to get like the hair a little bit shorter, and then you see exactly where you can go. And here I'm again going to work with one side of the blade, and by doing this again you won't have a big line. And that means after the bath you won't have so much work tidying everything up and making sure you don't have a line. Here you see me exactly using like the top corner I'm using, and the bottom corner of the blade I was not using. And here you see me nicely tightening the skin so it's easy to clip. See? I'm only using the right hand side of the blade, and you don't see me using the left hand side of the blade to avoid lines. Sometimes around the neck it's very difficult to see where the hair growth is. When you want a nice finish, you really have to like watch very carefully where the hair growth is and just go directly against the hair growth. Here you see me changing to the 7F, and I'm gonna do the sides a bit more to have less work after the bath. If I use the 7F with direction, it's approximately the same size length of coat as the 4F counter direction. So see here you can change like two different sizes of blades. Here you see me at the ears, and which line or where do I stop clipping? I stop where the ear starts and I make a virtual line. Here I'm taking again my 4F to finish the head, and I'm not gonna go over the lines where the ears start because all that needs to be scissored after the bath. Now let's do some bathing. We are going to use the Showtek Super Clean for the first and the second bath, and then we are going to use the Showtek Romance shampoo. Thank you Kitty Ponnet for helping me, and here we have Kitty washing Joe. This is the Pro Super Clean, which has been dissolved in water. The Showtek Super Clean washes very dirty dogs in no time at all. You don't see how dirty he is, but it's like a milky substance which is coming out. It's really greasy. Joe's gonna be very nice afterwards. Now this is the Romance shampoo for the second time. Here we have another rinse. Joe is behaving very nicely. Here we go for the third wash, so 3 times. Joe's gonna be squeaky clean, smelling very fantastic fresh. Here we washed for the first time, we rinsed, we washed again, we rinsed, and now we are rinsing for the 3rd time. I think Joe's gonna sleep for the rest of the day when he gets home. Okay, let's do some drying. Here we go. To make Joe more comfortable, we are using the Showtek Ear Buddy. The Showtek ear buddy is special to make the dog more comfortable when he's like afraid of the noise from the blaster. So the Showtek ear buddy works like compression, and when you feel as a dog the compression, apparently it takes them back to the time they were in the wound and it makes them relax. So the Showtek ear buddy is very good for noises, like also when there's like thunder, or when it's Christmas and there's like fireworks, or when the dog is in stress situations in the car or being dried with the blaster. The ear buddy can help to have the dog more relaxed. So now we are like slowly, bit at the time, like trying everything out. Sometimes in circular movements. Because of the force of the air, it's like opening the coat. And when you open the coat and you can dry the coat at that moment, the coat will stay open and it won't have a frizz, it won't have a curl, but you have to stay in this spot until it's nice and dry. When we finished with the blaster, we can still, with some warm air, do some brushing. This is to prevent tangles or, places where you haven't totally dried the coat. Here, with the long pins, you can stretch out the coat with the warm air. And if there's any curls left or places where it's frizzy, you can take out and nicely get the whole coat very straight, so it's easy to be scissored afterwards. It's very important before you start scissoring that all the curls and the coat is straight and non-frizzy and all the mats are out and it's just nice and ready to start scissoring. If you want to have a good finish with your scissors, you have to do that. Let's do some more clipping. We're just going to do some finishing and some cleaning up, and then we are ready to do some scissoring. So here we go again with the basic from Heiniger and the 4F, and we're going to do some without doing too much. We're going to do some at the sides. As you can see, you have no lines. And if you go against, nothing is coming out, or maybe a little bit here and a little bit there, but not very much. And now we have a squeaky clean coat. And here again you see me using the clipper with only the right side to for sure not have any lines. And I'm holding the hair like straight, so the skin is tight and it's easy to work. And then even you can combine this with going with the coat. Here you see me taking the midi, and at last I'm going to do the pads. I'm taking the Heiniger midi because I can easily adjust the blade, and it's a strong clipper. And it's very light to hold, it gives you no vibration, and with this you can easily scoop out all the hair between the pads. First I'm going to go like on top of the pads and clean out everything on top of the pads and between the nails a little bit. And then I'm going to like hold the fingers outwards, and then I'm going to do in between the pads. And again, like with show dogs, we don't do this. With show dogs, we only do on top of the pads. But with commercial dogs, we like to keep it clean. And that's why we also go in between and we scoop out all the hair in between the pads. And now let's do some scissoring. I like to start in the front. I like to do the front legs, and then the head, and then the back legs. So I'm just going to clip around. I don't like to go on top of the pads, so I usually with my scissor go like this around, but if I want to clip like this, I'm going to clip like this, and I'm not going to go like around. I'm never going to like clip on top of the pads to prevent from clipping with the scissors in the pads. And if you made a nice line with the clipper on the pads in the back, then you can really like very nicely clean out the feet and make a very nice finish with the scissors. And here you see me using mainly the normal scissors because it's easy and quick, and for later I'm gonna use also the thinning scissors. But here it's okay, I'm doing fine. I can use the thinning scissors or the blenders actually, but it's not really necessary. It's quick and easy with the normal scissors. It's like a barefoot. And here we go with the blenders. So when I'm nearly finished with the feet, I'm going to like blend the long hair with the short hair, and I'm going to finish the legs with the blender. Here you see me using the Yento Prime 16.5 centimeter blender. As you can see, I'm like with my comb lifting the hairs and then slowly scissoring. And here in slow motion you see the movement I'm doing with my comb, and afterwards you will see exactly where we have to scissor again. Before I was scissoring from bottom to top, and now I'm scissoring from top to bottom. And each time I'm scissoring, I'm like combing the coat and pulling it, as you would say, and then you see exactly the next spot where you have to scissor. You can see no lines, it's all natural, and it's just nice to be able to work like this, where you don't see any lines. I don't really like lines. And here with the blender you can nicely blend in the short coat and the long coat without seeing. So it's all very natural. Here again in slow motion, let's watch again what's happening. When I'm finished scissoring, I'm going up with my scissors, and then the hair is sticking out because I was pulling it upwards, and then the next scissor I can see exactly where to scissor again. Here I'm starting the head, and here as well I'm like going from ear to ear, and each time it's going fast, you don't really see it, but each time I'm scissoring I'm like taking the hair upwards, and then you see where to go. Here you see the difference between where I have been clipping and where I have to scissor. Actually with my blending shears I can take all lines and all little pieces of hair sticking out away, so you don't see any line and any difference between the clipper work and the scissor work. How tiny the hairs are, if you keep on doing it, you can get all the small differences away. The only thing you have to remember when you are using the thinning scissors, you have to go with direction or against direction, but never go crosswise. So if the hair is growing like this, you can go that, or you can go the other way, but not that way, to have no lines and to have a natural finish. And keep on combing and looking very carefully what you're doing. Take your time, do a bit at a time, and just keep on scissoring and enjoy yourself. So here you see me showing the American cocker head. It's like going upwards, and it's like it has to be like flat at the skull. So don't do it too short, and make a nice full head. And here the sides of the ears, just feel where the skin is and just go over it with the scissor. Here you see me using the Heiniger Midi again to do the finishing work on the ears. And here you see me with the point from the blender, like here between the eyes, going a little bit deeper to have a more stop here and to make it more clear. And here, if you look correctly, you don't see any lines or differences, and it's a very natural finish. Let's do the back legs now. And the back legs, I have decided to take the curves. I personally don't use curves a lot. They are always there laughing at me, but Actually, I should use curves more, but when I was being taught a very, very long time ago, there were no much curves about. So I used to do everything with straight, so it's like a habit. But actually it's easier with curves if you think about it. So here I was explaining that I never scissor on top of the pads. I like to go around the pads, and I'm not going with my scissor blades over the pads to prevent accidents. And I like it very much when the pads are very nice and clear, and when all the clipper work is done between the pads. And then I like it when the dog runs in the grass, that he like runs, and every time he runs and he puts his back legs up, you see like the 5 pads. I like this very much. So for me, pads is important. It needs to be nice and clean, and all the pads needs to be visible. Here you see me combing and blending with the blending scissors, and combing again and going over all the time with my comb. I'm like combing the hair, and all the little hairs that are sticking out, I'm taking out. And here we go for the last leg, feet. I'm also using my curved scissors here. And here I have the blender again, and I'm combing and going over everything so it's all nice and short and natural. So now the tail, I usually with my finger and thumb go over the tail, because here we have to remember the owner likes to have Joe short, as less of maintenance possible, and I like to go through. I like to keep the tail with my thumb and finger to hold the point, and then everything after the point I can cut short with the scissors, and I don't ever risk scissoring in the tail itself. Here we go, Joe's happy! We have a finished Joe. Joe is an 11-year-old American Cocker who is very commercial, but still not so with fine legs, not everywhere clipped, but still short, and let's say low maintenance. Thank you for watching. This was Kitty for Transgroom TV, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe. If you like the video, you can give it a thumbs up, and if you have any questions at all, you're very welcome. Don't hesitate to put them down below, and we will answer your questions. I hope to see you next time at Transgroom TV.